Mr. Regan-Smith, we have some questions for you and we've made some notes. My first question is, what are your initial impressions of Burgess Hill?
I think I've been really struck by how friendly the school is. So straight away from the time on interview here, and even actually doing a bit of research on the school beforehand, it came across as a really small, really friendly community. And that's certainly been met so far.
Yeah, I definitely felt that as well when I joined. So what drew you to the school as well? Obviously that.
So I think, from my educational philosophy, so academics are obviously really important, but actually schooling is about so much more than that, and particularly the sixth form. It's all about all the opportunities outside of it, and Burgess Hill struck me as a school that understood that and very much matched that philosophy. And sure enough, that was something I was able to explore a bit when I was on interviewing and go from there, and that's what drew me here.
So I heard you came from a boys' school. Do you think boys learn differently than girls?
I don't think they learn differently insofar as I think fundamentally our brains are wired in the same way, so from that side of things. I'm sure there will be some differences. Certainly my colleagues who have taught at all-girls schools before have told me that there will be differences. At my school before that one, I taught girls in the sixth form, so I've got a little bit of experience that way, but I'm sure you will find ways to surprise me.
I thought we learned the same, but I guess people had different
I think we learn the
opinions.
same, but maybe different approaches and stuff.
I think the danger is that you fall into lazy generalizations
of
exactly. Boys' subjects and girls' subjects, and you really want to avoid that. And of course, that's one of the big advantages of being a single-sex school, is that hopefully you really do avoid that.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's just their own person.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you planning to make any new changes or anything to the sixth form?
I'm sure I will change little bits and pieces, but first of all, I just want to get to know the sixth form. I'm not going to come in and change things without knowing what you want changed, without knowing what would work within the school context. It's clearly not something that needs radical revolution, so it'll be an evolutionary process instead.
Mm-hmm. So how do you plan on getting involved with borders?
So I suppose my background outside of the classroom is all around sport and so on. So doing lots of little sporting activities, whether it's something simple like just getting involved with some rounders, or I used to play a bit of ultimate frisbee at university, so I can teach you all how to throw a frisbee in lots of different ways. So doing some bits and pieces that way would be my ideal.
Yeah, she likes sports. What
do
you like?
I do hockey, netball. I love
so I used to play hockey until about the ages of 14, 15, quite regularly. And the last time I played was when I joined the dads against my youngest brother's development team, and I stopped playing after my younger brother thrashed me on the pitch again and again. So yeah.
Yeah, hockey's fun. So obviously you're an RS teacher. What's the most interesting thing you know about philosophy?
Oh, my favourite little philosophy fact is really not deep at all. So Plato was trying to define what a human is, and he described a human as a featherless biped, to which one of his students, Diogenes, brought in a plucked chicken and put it down and said, "Behold, a man!" And obviously was taking the mickey. So,
yeah, I do RS.
Yeah.
And Plato comes up a lot.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So Plato's Cave and
yeah, Plato's Cave, yeah.
So, what is philosophy about? Because I don't really know much.
So, in some ways, it's about everything. It's about all the deep questions, and sometimes they're questions to which we can never know if we've got a right answer to, even when there is a right answer. So, there are right answers to questions about morality and ethics and whether or not God exists, but we might never know whether we've got the right answer or not, and thus being able to form arguments for them and put those together and see the difference between rational and irrational thought. That's a major part of it. But it permeates every area of life. If you look at the early philosophers, people like Aristotle, you'd think that actually a lot of what they did was science. All politics stems from philosophy. So I'd say it's at the heart of everything.
Mm. So what do you think you'll bring to the atmosphere at Cedar Lodge?
So I suppose without knowing the atmosphere at the moment, it's hard to say. But certainly in terms of my own personality, I'd say I'm very calm. I like to think I'm quite approachable and easy to talk to. So there'll be that side of it. But equally, I'll definitely hold you all to quite high standards as well and require that it's good.
Yeah, that's good, because we always have quite a lot of crises and stuff. Yeah. So it's we always come to the head of sixth form.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a major part of the role, isn't it? It's about being there to help out and to stop things from becoming a major crisis, actually to nip it in the bud. And if you haven't got that open door policy, then all you do is put things off and they become bigger issues.
Yeah.
So, no.
What sort of thing would you plan for a sixth form trip?
So like a sixth form induction trip, so a welcome to the sixth form. I think I would look to sort of very much continue the idea of going up to London and doing some team building challenges around there. I think London's such an interesting place, and there's so much variety in terms of what you can do. You can stop it from becoming stale very easily.
So, like, what in a sixth form, what do you feel like is a really important thing?
I think the most important thing is giving you the variety of opportunities. So whilst academics are really important, and it's important that you do well academically, you would be missing out on so much if that was all there was to your sixth form. And it's all about giving you that opportunity to flourish in whatever area of life you are looking to flourish in. And that's something where as a school we can be really helpful with that, and we can give you all those opportunities and push you towards them sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your definition of success?
So I suppose success is you being able to do that and having that experience. If you leave school and you're able to look back and say, actually, I had so many wonderful opportunities. I got to try out so many things. And that's a key part of finding out who you are and what you're going to enjoy. The best work experience I ever did in my life was at a law firm, because it told me I didn't want to be a lawyer. So actually knowing that was really helpful, and thus having all those variety of experiences will be helpful, whether they're good or bad.
What we really enjoy about like the sixth form is that we're treated like adults. So like, do you think that's something that you could continue?
I really hope so. It's certainly something I really enjoyed about sixth form, was being treated as an adult. And the other schools I've taught at, that's always been a key part of the philosophy, and it's certainly something that I would want to continue. It's got to be one of the best things about being a sixth former, is that actually you get to see everybody on a slightly different side, and you get that slightly different relationship with teachers as a result as well. And I think that's really valuable. It's also starting to prepare you a little bit for what life at university and in the world of work will be like.
Yeah. How did you get into teaching?
So I suppose, as I said, when I was a sixth form, I didn't think I'd teach at all. But really, I blame my head of sixth form, my RS teacher. So at the end of my lower sixth year, I thought I was going to study history at university. And he sort of looked at me and went, and handed me a book. And he handed me a book called Confessions of a Philosopher by Brian McGee. And I read that over the summer, and he completely hooked me on philosophy. So I went to study philosophy at university. I stayed on and did my master's in philosophy, theology and ethics. And it was in that time that I realised, first of all, that I didn't want to do a PhD. And secondly, I started to think quite seriously about what I was going to do then. And I'd spent my gap year working at a school in Australia, and I'd really, really enjoyed that experience. So I got in touch with actually my old school and said, is there any chance that you could take me back on a teaching contract or a training contract? And they said yes. So I spent a couple of weeks doing some experience at a school in York, and then I went down there. This led to a rather bizarre experience where I taught my youngest brother A-level RS, which is not something that either of us, I think, foresaw happening. And it was, I don't know if it was more awkward for me or him, but there were certainly some entertaining moments.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy your time in Australia?
Yeah, I loved my time in Australia. So being out in Perth, I was based in a school called Christchurch Grammar School, which is just outside it in a place called Claremont. And as a gap year student, I was basically out there to coach lots of sport, help out in their special educational needs unit. So I helped out particularly with their dyslexic students, which is something that I've got experience of. I'm very gently or very mildly dyslexic myself. I obviously got to travel a bit as well, and that was great fun.
Okay, so we now have some more fun quick fire questions for you. So how do you plan to decorate your new office?
I'll have photos of family, I'll have my daughter's artwork in there, and hopefully a few plants as well. I did have a plant in my last office, which I forgot about over the Christmas holidays, so hopefully I won't kill this lot.
Would you like your name abbreviated?
So typically I do abbreviate my name. I'm Mr. RS, which is an RS teacher. Works
yeah,
very
yeah,
well.
we were thinking you might do.
So yeah, I used to be Mr. Smith, and then when my wife and I got married, didn't see why she should have to take my name, and neither of us really wanted to lose our names, so we combined.
Mr. RS is such a cool coincidence. What's your favourite Disney movie?
My favourite Disney movie is Moana. And
I actually
most mornings, my 4-year-old and me will be found singing "You're Welcome" as we dance around the room.
So pancakes or waffles?
If I'm making them, pancakes. If I'm eating them, waffles.
Okay, so on a scone, do you say scone or scone?
I say scone.
Scone. Okay. Jam then cream or cream then jam?
It depends what type of cream you're using. If you're using clotted cream, which you should be,
Yeah.
it's got to be clotted cream first, because otherwise it's too heavy. It doesn't spread over the jam. If you've got some squirty cream, then it's got to go on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your favourite biscuit?
Chocolate hobnob.
That's a good one.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, Marmite, do you love it or hate it?
I hate Marmite.
Yeah, same.
Coffee or tea?
Normally tea, unless I know it's a really good coffee, in which case I go coffee.
We showed you the prison yard.
Yeah.
Not the prison yard. It's the garden outside sixth form. But like, would you help like fix it up?
Yeah, absolutely. You've actually got a really nice big space there, which with a bit of work could be something really nice. So some new picnic tables, new benches, but equally there must be a chance to grow something there. It'd be worth speaking to the groundskeepers and the gardeners and saying, actually, what could we do there? And even if we just had a little vegetable garden, some nice bits that way, a little herb garden maybe.
Yeah.
Could we have a gardening club? Like,
I was thinking we were talking about having a gardening club.
yeah, like we plant roses.
like 50 flowers and stuff.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, I think we've done everything. So thank you so much, Mr. Regan-Smith.
Yeah.
You're in. Welcome to Burgess Hill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.